Okay, let me tell you something. First of all, the balancing act I had to do just to get this like thumbnail appropriate type of picture was absolutely insane. But I went to World Market a couple of weeks ago and we got a bunch of international chips that I wanted to try. So I'm finally getting around to them so I can finally get back out to stores because we had way too much stuff in the vault before I could actually go out and get more stuff. It wouldn't have made more sense. So international chips, 6 different bags of chips. Without further ado, man, let's just get into it. So the first bag of chips comes from Taiwan, and these are steak flavored Lay's. Well, there's no anything on here, but thank goodness they do have a little translation on all these chips at World Market. So I wouldn't, I can't read that. I've had something similar to these we've done already, but we've never done the like just straight up steak. There was always like garlic steak or something like that. Now I have to get another one of these. They're really thin. The thing I always notice with these international chips, even when they say steak flavored, they still add their little bit of something that lets you know that these are from Taiwan. Yes, it tastes like beef, like there's beef powder on this. But what comes through immediately after, you get garlic, but then there's a nice little undertone of soy sauce flavor that makes you say, okay, I'm eating a steak like maybe they would cook it in Taiwan. No, I never had steak in Taiwan, but I know soy sauce is pretty popular over there. So I didn't mean to give you a little ASMR there, but these are fire. If you're looking for something where it captures the flavor of this meat, like they do this so well, but I noticed even more than the Lay's chips we have here, the flavor is bolder. A lot of times you get steak or some kind of chips here, and it's just like really faint. As with this, the flavor is bold and it punches you right in the mouth, and I absolutely love that. These get a 9 out of 10. I think they would pair really well with a burger or even just steak or something like that. Something beef-centric, these would go really well in. Or you could crush these up and, all right, you get the idea. Next up, again, fresh from Taiwan. Again, we have the garlic prawn flavored Doritos. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm pretty sure most people know this, but just in case to be thorough, prawn is an oversized, oh, my hands is greasy. I'll tell you what, they added, look at the amount of air that's in these chips. Wow. Shrimp stock is my immediate reaction to the smell of these. So I know they're going to be very shrimp flavored, but in case anybody wants to see what they look like, this tastes like a good seafood meal. Almost tastes like shrimp scampi. But again, same vibe, a little more of a Taiwan flair to it because I'm also getting soy sauce and like red chili flake. You know, I use like the chili oil in a lot of their stuff. I'm getting a little bit of that. It's not overly spicy, like a milder version, but soy sauce and red chili shrimp scampi in a chip. What a time to be alive. These are fantastic. 2 for 2. Also getting a 9. Wow. I know some of y'all like to comment if you don't see a beverage and you think I'm not taking a drink in between this. This is just some bubbled, carbonated seltzer water, but I am. Sometimes people have to see it, but yes, I'm definitely taking drinks in between. Next up, these are from China. These are roasted cumin lamb skewer flavor. Now, the funny part is on the back, it actually says imitation lamb, which, I mean, it put so much air in this bag that when my hands started getting a little greasy, can't get it open. Here we go. Just looks like a Lay's chip. All 3 of these chips so far, my first thought, before I even get into the taste, bold. As soon as you start chewing this, you get the flavor right away. Of the chips that I've had so far, these have the most layers of flavor. Right off the bat, roasted cumin. So you like almost when you get that chili, that cumin flavor, but because it's roasted, very concentrated and a heavy flavor. Again, with the Taiwan and Chinese flair, soy sauce. But in this one, I'm also getting like that really refreshing, you know, like Szechuan peppercorns. That is also in there as well. So very similar to when I had dishes from there like mala chicken and Szechuan cooking, Szechuan peppercorns, and then also that little something that you get from like, there's MSG in here. I can check the ingredients, and yeah, it is there. So same idea. The thing is crazy about these is the thing that's missing the most is the lamb flavor. It's very faint and it's at the end. It's there, but there's so much other stuff that goes into it that it overshadows that. Some people may not like that. I wish it did have a little bit more, but at the same time, I can't really complain when you get a potato chip that has that many layers of flavor to it. So these are also excellent. but a little bit lower of a score just because they didn't capture the lamb like the other ones, really heavy shrimp and really heavy steak. And that's not here. Still, nonetheless, I like these, and they're getting an 8 out of 10. I tell you, the Lay's game in China and Taiwan, Dookie's on ours. So we're going to circle back to Taiwan on this one. This one always, I remember I got these in the store, and the first thing I said, so this is their late night Doritos iteration, but it actually says, see if I can get you a little close up there, American hot wings flavor. So it's supposed to taste like our hot wings, I guess. So I'm guessing buffalo or something like that. But spicy chicken wings, Doritos American spicy chicken wings flavor is what it says on the back, but it's in English in the front. I tell you, these bags are crazy. I'm really liking these chips though. Oh, look, these are lightning bolt. Oh, okay. How come we don't do stuff like this here? It's a lightning bolt, and they're all little lightning bolts. It's definitely not a buffalo wing, so I have to almost change my palate expectation. Let's get another one here. What these actually taste like is that they tried to duplicate their own, almost like a Cajun spice blend when you get those Cajun wings, but minus the spice. So think Wingstop Louisiana rub, very similar to that. It's faint, but it is there. And then at the end, you start getting that chicken base, almost like when you get in ramen. So if you have chicken bouillon, but that part is also faint at the end. The thing about these to me, again, it doesn't really capture what it says it is. Being an American, I guess maybe this is what they think of American cooking, but it more tastes like faint Cajun spice. And there's like that chicken. I would never guess the flavor saying, oh, these are roasted chicken wings or these are American chicken wings, but it's a decent flavored one. Not as bold as the other ones and definitely not as accurate as the other ones have. This is my least favorite one so far, but I'm going to give them an extra point for the fact that they lightning bolted every single one of these chips. Like, absolute W of doing that. We need to make more fun-shaped Doritos in the United States. I feel like other countries are doing things better than us, even though I still think our Doritos are still superior. They do have some good ones. I'm going to give these a 6.5 out of 10. Now we're going way across to the other part of the world, and these are actually Irish chips. So they are ghost chili and sour cream. I remember I saw this the last minute when I was in there, kettle cooked. I said, you know, this might be one that was pretty interesting. So ghost chili, I'm expecting these to be pretty spicy, but you never know with these. Kettle cooked chip, what you get more immediately is that sour cream. But then as you start to eat a couple of more, you're definitely starting to get what? Let me see if it's in here. It's the last ingredient, but it says ghost pepper and capsicum extract. So there's peppers as well as ghost peppers in here, and it's there. Spice level, I would say probably like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Not incredibly hot, but hot enough that I know that I'm eating spicy food. But it's not overpowering because there's a heavy sour cream vibe in here. Like sour cream and onion chips minus the onion and add the ghost pepper extract. But these, I say, they're kettle cooked. They're a little bit thinner, and they're very enjoyable. Like, this is the type of chip that if I just wanted a bag of chips, I would definitely just want to chill out and eat these because they're not overly spicy, but nice little flavor. And I also, noticed that these chips are not incredibly greasy like our kettle cooked chips. I'm sure they fry them just the same, but this is a nice chip. Like, I really like these. They sold these in stores. I'd buy them all the time. I'm going to give these a 9.2 out of 10. Probably my favorite chips that I've gotten so far. Just a straight up no nonsense chip, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sour cream. These are good as hell. And finally, these are not international, but one of my favorite chips brands that is domestic is Zapp's. I first found out about these chips actually watching Emeril Lagasse. I used to watch him back in the 90s as a kid with my dad. Whole story about this real quick. He fell in love with cooking and he tried to make gumbo, burned it like 6 times. But we watched Emeril religiously. He had a show called Emeril Live in the Food Network once a week where he would always pull out these Zapp's chips out of the fridge. And I never could find them until probably about a decade ago, and they've been a mainstay ever since, especially the voodoo chips. But this is the spicy Cajun Crotators. I'm sorry for the story, but I do like my Zapp's. Thing he always said, and this is what I got from him too, I used to put these in the freezer. I still do put these in the freezer, I should say, but all kettle cooked chips, I put them in the freezer still. Got that from Emeril. So shout out to one of my first inspirations of being like a person who loves food. Spicy Cajun Crotators. Now, this is more of the thicker cut American style kettle cooked chip that I'm familiar with that I love. Okay. Oh, wait, something here. Hold on now. These chips do not miss. Man. Give me a whole, I do have a whole bag. These chips, very similar to that roasted cumin one that I had. There's so many layers on these. They're so enjoyable. You get that Cajun spice that you go when you almost get like a seafood boil. It really reminds you of that. But there's also, similar to that shrimp stock, you got Taiwan chips. You have, like, I'm going to guess they use crawfish. It's not in here what kind of flavor that they use. It just says spices. They don't want to tell you. But it tastes like a seafood boil, like a spicy seafood boil. And the chip, the texture of a Zaps, if you never had it, they're thicker. These are elite. Like, my two favorite chips actually were the ones from Ireland and here. 9.3 out of 10. Like, if you've never had a Zaps chip, I know the Voodoos are really popular, but if you can catch some of the other flavors, they do have crazy lineup. So I love these chips. Those last two are definitely keepers. They're going in my freezer. So that's going to conclude our international snack haul that we had. And I can finally get back out to another store and try some more stuff. I couldn't do it until I cleared out the vault because I didn't want to start having things piled up. So I know there haven't been any shopping vlogs for the last couple of weeks, but it's because there's been so much content that's all over the place. But we'll get back into that for sure starting in the next week. But I wanted to finish that. I really liked a lot of those chips. Definitely going to spin back to World Market. I also saw a lot of suggestions for H Mart. I did a bunch of H Mart things. I actually did a full H Mart video on my main channel. People didn't really care for it, but people do on here. So we'll vlog H Mart. And then we will do an H Mart haul too as well. I'm well aware of H Mart. I love H Mart. I appreciate the suggestions from you guys. And if you guys want to see it, y'all know I'm all for it. So I appreciate y'all for watching, man. No outro on this channel.